Everybody. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for this webinar that we're doing called Compliance on a Dime. We're going to present a couple of solutions and talk about how you meet some of these security log and other security requirements utilizing cloud in a way that often we've seen our customers be able to reduce their expenses by 90%. People are just getting joined in. We have most of the folks on the line, it looks like, which is great. Just going to go on mute for 1 minute to give people another minute to get back from lunch, and then we'll get started right away so that we can stay on schedule. Again, not a ton of PowerPoint slides today. I'm actually going to show you 2 dashboard tools that are inexpensive to meet compliance requirements. So it's going to be a little bit more interactive and not just PowerPoints generic talking about compliance. So stay tuned. We'll start in 1 minute. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started so we can stay on time for everybody. Again, thanks for joining us. My name is Paul Hager. I'm the CEO of Information Technology Professionals. We are a strategic managed Microsoft partner in the Midwest region, but we service folks nationwide on the Microsoft solution stack. It's not all about Microsoft today, but we're going to talk about one particular tool that is just coming out October 1st. So you're going to get to see a preview of something that is just first hitting the market for meeting compliance on a dime. So let's just dive right into it today a little bit. We're going to start with talking about the OPM breach, the Office of Personnel Management. So this happened in June of 2015. Again, it was a breach of our specific FBI records that covered as many between 4 and 20 million people. And it got their social security numbers, personally identifiable information, and what was interesting to note is obviously the FBI director and overall the director of the OPM had engaged in processes to meet security requirements. Obviously, covering this very sensitive data was an important part of what the government had focused on. And even though they had all the resources available and they had purchased the most expensive product in the market space, ultimately the breach still happened. And so the example as to why is what we're going to kind of uncover and talk about. So one of the critical parts of compliance is doing something called log analysis. So all of your devices, your user workstations, your servers, all your mobile devices, your cloud, they're all logging and providing you information, but it's in all these different places, and it's in all different dashboards. And so that's why there are all these new tools that have come out over the last 15 years to help try to bring and correlate all this data back together. Again, as the news broke, they called this involved one of the greatest threats of sensitive information and personal data in history. But to date, neither the scope nor the scale or its significance, nor the adequate and even self-defeating response has been fully aired. So it's just something that's kind of been in the background. When they released their post-mortem on the breach, this is what was particularly interesting as we read into it. The Opean owns security information and event management tool with the technical ability to automatically detect, analyze, and correlate potential security incidents. However, the correlation features of this tool were not fully utilized, and this tool only received data from approximately 80% of their information systems. And again, the reason why, even though they had bought the best tool and they had paid the most money that they could to meet compliance, ultimately was it was too complex. And the people indicate there was an excessive amount of data for the security analyst to review it, and it created a backlog and a delay that actually prevented responding to threats or incidents. So again, we see it not just with the OPM, we see it in HIPAA, we see it just in general businesses, small to mid-sized companies that just have data breaches or virus incidents. Antivirus isn't enough. And if you have any compliance requirements or you're just generally interested in not having your network compromised, you're going to have to get into log file correlation, security analytics software. And when we see people don't put those safeguards in place, we're seeing here just examples within our area of companies having to pay fairly large HIPAA fines to adopt corrective action plans in order to solve it. Again, every device in your network is giving you information to help you with your compliance, but it's in cryptic formats. They're tied to hard to understand error codes. They're stuck on islands. And that's what log analytics is supposed to be able to do, create actionable dashboards using powerful search capabilities and create real alerts, not just noise, but real alerts that your IT can manage. And you can see that even the OPM had challenges with this. Every major compliance framework requires log analytics, which is a lot of what we're going to talk about. We'll also talk about assessments and other compliance pieces. But in this one in particular, PCI, HIPAA, SOX, publicly traded companies, financial industry, or any business interested in staying ahead of breaches in their own data, you need to put in what's called log analytics. Gather the data, correlate the data, who's in the network, and provide actionable, meaningful alerts to your IT department. Again, why did the OPM fail? There's a high cost of implementation, so they didn't fully implement it. It's a high cost to that software and on-premise hardware. It takes a lot of CPU to do real-time searching across lots of devices, and then the cost of storing potentially years of log files to meet your retention requirements to meet compliance. They're all overly complex, so people just don't adopt it. So here at ITP, we've attacked this problem of meeting two of the most important and basic compliance functions, log analytics and doing assessments and self-assessments of your network. And we've approached it using our local team of people that are willing to do flat rate services on the assessment side, as well as being able to use either Microsoft's Azure solution through their OMS Suite or running Graylog Enterprise open source on Azure sent to us. So both using the cloud, both using a monthly costing model to allow you to scale your compliance needs, even if you're just a small business, which we have, some small customers here in Madison that provide medical testing devices or other devices to the U.S. military. They have stringent compliance requirements, but they only have 3 servers. Well, that's fine. This solution, either that we're going to talk about today, scales from 3 to 3,000, and you only pay for what you utilize. So for a small business customer, to do full in-depth log analytics and threat and breach analysis, we're talking maybe less than $200 a month. And for larger scale enterprises, it can only be a couple $1,000s a month. We have one Fortune 500 customer that's a global organization that is paying less than $3,000 a month in order to do and meet all of their ongoing compliance. So the OMS Suite is this brand new suite that's just been announced. It's been in pre-release since July, but October 1st it's generally available in Azure. OMS was built in to provide all these log analytics into these nice custom dashboard views. It lets you do what-if scenarios and capacity planning in your environment. How are your servers doing? And what might they look like? You can update your status in your system, identify missing updates across all your critical servers, whether they're in your data center or in the public cloud. You can do change tracking to find out if things are changing, if people are updating permissions in your servers you're unaware of. It also does full threat analytics using the Microsoft Threat Analytics Network, allows you to detect data and security breaches, and then allows you to do security log collection for auditing. It helps your sysadmins mine those large distributed sets of data in order to detect suspicious activities and potential breaches. So again, OMS Suite via log analytics, real-time elastic scale, search and correlate data in real time, and it makes it easy to visualize in very easy dashboards, which I'll show you. All from one platform, regardless of whether you use Microsoft System Center or not, or just have standalone servers, regardless of whether your VMs are in Azure, AWS, or in your office or in your basement. Doesn't matter where they are, you put the agent on a device, which I'll show you, and you're ready to go. And OMS provides this really nice, very simple, beautiful dashboard that you see here, where it shows you what is your anti-malware assessment, how many distinct IPs and computers do you have, What does the threat intelligence network say about ongoing activity within your network? Was it botnet, darknet, IRC? It tells you where it is and exactly what device, and it can set up an alert to email your NOC team about when a detection is existing. So either a SQL server is running poorly, to failed accounts trying to log into your systems or servers that you're unaware of, to data breach being detected within your network. OMS has categorized this new OMS SKU that's coming out 10.1 is that there's OMS E1 and OMS E2, and you can see the lineup of what products you get within each of these SKUs. It's priced on a per node basis, a node meaning anything, a desktop, a server, a physical server, a virtual server, in the cloud, not in the cloud. One thing running the tool that's correlating data is what it's priced in. And prices range from anywhere from free or $5 up to about $35 to $40 an endpoint a month. But again, that's all your log correlation, all your threat assessment, all your patching and automation, network performance, and the higher end SKUs also include backup and site recovery to Azure. So Microsoft put together a cute little video, which will hopefully play well. It's very short, about what a day in the life of the IT administrator is when you have the OMS Suite.
So, I think we should rethink this whole standing security meeting.
Well, that's fine. It's going great. Why change a good thing?
I have other areas to focus on.
There's nothing more important than security. Updates.
All patching is current.
Network.
Secure, no sign of intrusion.
Threats.
No threat activity. However, I do want to show you something new.
What is that?
That is our new security and threat analysis using Microsoft Operations Management Suite. Now we can collect all of the security-related events and run forensic, audit, and breach analysis. I can also monitor for identity and network breach threats.
What's this cool map thing in the corner?
That's the malicious IP mapping tool. It's used to show potential threats in our organization. Just keeps us one step ahead.
Wow. I feel psychic.
So that's just a little cute video about what the day in the life looks like. This whole product is set up directly from Azure. If you've never seen Microsoft Azure before, this is what the dashboard looks like. And from Azure, you can load Windows servers, you can build Active Directories in the cloud, and you can also deploy the OMS Suite. This is just playing through the steps that we did to set up a demo environment. And what we're just showing here is that this is not some long, drawn-out process or deployment. It's actually just a matter of a few clicks to get an OMS workspace set up. You can have multiple workspaces if you want. And they even include, we can provide Azure passes for free trial options, as well as we can do proof of concept work to show you what this looks like. Again, as a managed Microsoft partner, we're here in the state of Wisconsin to provide to the entire Midwest options to see these products live. So there's different tiers of this product plan. It's updated a little bit since what's been out there now. There used to be this free standard premium, and now there's that OMS E1, E2 that you saw there before. So basically, you assign a subscription to it, you give it a name, you pick your product level, and you hit OK, and it goes ahead and it deploys an instance of Log Analytics. We hit refresh, the Log Analytics instance is there, and from there you can click and launch the OMS portal, and you are immediately into that dashboarding system that you just saw pictures of, with all the neat graphs and things like that. So you can see the deployment process here, pretty straightforward. Once you have your OMS Suite base set up, you go ahead into their solutions gallery. And here there's all these tiles. Think of them as apps for your network. Things like SQL analytics, backup, automation. You pick what you want, you click add to the app, and it goes live within the environment. Azure in the background is setting up everything you need, storage and networking wise, to make all of this work. So we set up anti-malware assessments, we set up the internal audit and assessment, we can then set up change tracking, which again will watch for any major changes on your computer network or Active Directory or server permissions. And then the last thing we'll do is maybe have the system update assessment to make sure we're having all of our patching done on all of our devices. To set it up then, the next thing you need to do is just add some connected devices. So if you go into your connected sources here, you click download the Windows agent, or download the Linux agent, or download a data collector if you need a data collector to grab data from log files of, say, a firewall, something like that. Again, it can also connect to your System Center. It automatically connects to Azure Storage. It can automatically connect to your Office 365 account to give you details on that as well. All fully integrated, all within the Microsoft solution. So all you need to do is click download the agent for 64 or 32-bit. You copy in the workspace ID and a primary encryption key so that all the data is encrypted back and forth between your network and Microsoft Azure, and that's it. To do the install, you can do it all silently, and ITP has built a custom script to deploy it, so it's not even something you'd have to even click through an installer. We've built the script that we can provide you, and through PowerShell, you can push it via an install command out to all of your servers and environment in a very short period of time. Once it's installed in your environment, you can actually, if it's a Windows server, for example, go to the control panel. You may have never seen it before, but it's actually been baked in. This tool set's been baked into a Windows Server since Windows Server 2012. You can find the Microsoft Monitoring Agent, and the Azure Log Analytics can show that it's running right here within the system. Once it's connected, it automatically starts sending data so that you can watch it all happen in real time. Before I go and show you the live demo of the OMS program, the other thing we would talk about here is another option, which is instead of doing the Microsoft dedicated solution, which is you're going to get what you get from Microsoft. I'll show you. It's really neat for very Windows-centric environments. It's fantastic. If you're more interested in correlating or seeing what information is going on or running a compliance audit report against things like switches and firewalls and other network-based devices, we've had a lot of success log into Azure on a Linux virtual machine environment. So Greylog is an open source enterprise product, and it's actually able to do the very same thing. We're able to put in agents, or be able to send syslog information from your applications, from your ERP, from your computers. Doesn't matter what kind of device, there's an input mechanism for any type of system or device. And then Greylog runs something called Elasticsearch, which allows you to use their powerful query language to search terabytes of data in a matter of seconds. And again, you're not paying for that compute, you're elastically using that compute off of Microsoft Cloud and Microsoft Azure. So you can grab all of your log data, failed logins, workstation debugging, firewall messaging, and integrate everything, create full text searches, and then save those searches as alerts so that you can get actionable information in email. Even though Greylog is open source, you got to remember open source is very popular and it's enterprise grade. You can add an enterprise agreement through ITP with Greylog to get Greylog support in addition to it as well, all at a really cost-effective price. This is such a great product. It's already in use by Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cisco, SAP, Twilio, eBay, and even LinkedIn, who was acquired by Microsoft. The last piece we'll talk about today is you have to do risk assessments. Whenever you're in compliance, one of the key things you need to do is every year have a risk assessment done. What we're recommending is that you work with a local company. There are a lot of great companies that do assessment work that have templates that will just walk in your door and charge you per hour to walk through your network. But again, here at ITP, we're willing to do fixed fee arrangements, flexible statements of work. If you want us to focus on one particular area of your business, if you want to talk about DR, we have CISSPs on staff that can look through your network, whether you're more concerned about desktops, you're more concerned about meeting PCI, you don't care about a specific compliance framework, you just want best practices, assessments done. We can do them at a price point that your business will be willing to invest in them. It gives you a baseline to go back to your business and say, an outside company did an assessment, here's what our needs are, we should probably, they're telling us log analytics is something we need to do, and here's a solution that will break the bank along the way. Just an example of some things that we've seen, when you look at security information and enterprise management software, that can it often costs about $100,000 both to deploy and software. When you bring in outside expensive auditors, they're often $50,000, $20,000 in engagement. In comparison, again, for anything from a small business to a Fortune 500 company, we've saved them over 90% by working with us. We're still using best-of-breed tools, best-of-breed people. We're just not gouging, not using it the old way, doing it using the cloud and more of a monthly and ongoing service basis. So if you have any questions, I'm going to go in and just show some of these dashboards live so that it's not just PowerPoint presentation today. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in. We have Ellie from our marketing team watching those questions, and she'll be able to feed them over to me if something comes up so that I can cover it. Again, this is the OMS Suite, the live dashboard that you saw in the videos there. And you have these live tiles that will show you information based on what apps we installed. So the Active Directory Assessment app is running. You can click on that and drive into it. If we're talking about security and audit to meet a compliance requirement, instead of a complicated compliance software, we just installed the app. We installed the agent on a couple servers in the demo environment, and here is your live tile security and audit. Now you can show this dashboard to your business. Say for less than a couple $100 a month, we have insight into what's going on within our network, all deployed in one day, and something that we can train your internal staff on, and they can grow with the system as they get more interest in it. So again, anti-malware assessment will find out whether there's any computers missing critical security updates, whether it's missing antivirus or antivirus is out of date. And again, it will watch for any inbound or outbound traffic that's going to known botnet sources as identified by Microsoft's Threat Operations Center. So again, Microsoft running the largest cloud platform in the world, 21 data centers globally, larger footprint than Amazon and Google's data centers combined together. They are obviously very interested in monitoring security in real time. And they're giving you the results of that threat data and that research in real time and providing it to you for your network, which is pretty powerful. Again, if you just want to do a log search, this log correlation to meet requirements, depending on what compliance requirements you have, you might be required to log and report on all failed login activity. Well, here's where you're able to just start searching, and you can start from just a wildcard search, and then search for a specific security event, or type in a specific security event, and in real time, using the power of the cloud, it's analyzing all of those logs in real time. That was 15,000 logs that searched in that fraction of a second, and is able to produce your results because we can use the cloud to do it. And all those events can be stored based on your plan indefinitely if you want to, which allows you to instantly meet any security and compliance requirements you might have. Based on your searches, which you can get more and more in depth, based on the account, the computer, and you can click and just drill in more. And then at any point, you can say, that search is something I want to be able to see more often. You can click the alert button and create an alert rule and choose to email yourself, email your NOC, integrate with another system, and you can set up all of the webhooks. You can add a runbook to it, meaning if you see this alert, go do this action. And again, these are this can be really simple or it can grow to be more complex and really match the alien vaults, the logarithms, and these behemoth software companies that are very expensive. This product can do very simply and very inexpensively. So that was the log searching ability. We looked at security and audit. You can go in the anti-malware assessment tool, see what machines are missing, malicious software removal tools are missing antivirus or they're out of date. You can also do things like an Active Directory assessment. How healthy is your Active Directory? What's the performance? What's your scalability? What does it look like for an upgrade? You can do the same thing for things like SQL. If you've ever wanted to know how the business says, hey, the application feels slow, if you have SQL servers, in a few minutes you can be gathering information about how they're performing. Again, from the same dashboard, you can set up the backup and the remote backup tool. You can analyze network performance between two networks in your environment by installing an agent on one machine in one network and one machine in another network. You tell it what subnets they're on, and it will watch the traffic between the two and provide you some insight into it. Again, there's that change tracking module, so you can see what changes were made. Users added, users removed, users modified, any of the changes that you might want to gather from the log files within your system. Update management, if you've ever wanted to gut check whether all of the updates are done and how many updates are still needed, all of that's analyzed in real time so that you can take quick action to resolve any of those issues. So this is the OMS dashboard. Again, it can be set up in a matter of an hour and could work and continue to grow and build data for you. And more tools are coming out in the solutions gallery every day around these 4 main blocks. But more and more are coming down the line, and they put them in preview so you can see what they look like and upgrade at any point down the line. To flip that over and look at Graylog, which you'll see is very similar. Again, this is just Graylog, an enterprise open source log management system, also sitting in Azure, just in Azure's compute environment. And you can see it's refreshing in the background or foreground. Both systems can be dashboarded and put up on monitors or displays. And so here in real time, we can watch our failed Active Directory login attempts and indicate an alert. We can see our security event log coming from our firewall, what it is, what the count is, look for specific items and things like that. What I like about Graylog is you can actually set up your inputs for what type of data from any device. So whether it be, in this example, we just used a Sonic wall and a Windows server, it really shows the power and flexibility of Graylog, not being as Windows-centric. It's able to take in log data from really anything and does really well at firewalls and network devices in particular, as well as they do have an agent for Windows and Windows log collection, just not quite as deeply integrated, obviously, as Microsoft's. Again, the actual agent itself is already pre-installed in any Windows Server 2012 R2 for the OMS Suite going forward, with 2016 coming out in October. But you can see here in real time the actual messages coming in. You can see it on the upper right in the dashboard, and you can see Windows servers kind of send data in these groups versus real-time logging things from firewalls or network devices. You can see it's not a lot of data. It's only this little bit, a couple of K every second, just coming in text files, all in something that you can encrypt in a tunnel inside of Azure, as well as Azure has complete IP tables control to make sure that you can lock down what ports are open from your network to Azure, or you can put it all behind a secure firewall or a secure VPN gateway with Azure as well. It costs about $40 a month to run a VPN to Azure, not super expensive, and ensures that all the data is encrypted. So again, you can see the input, and then you have that, just like OMS, like I just showed you, you have that ability to just start a search query, and no matter what it is. So if you're looking for a specific device, or you're looking for a specific Windows event, it'll fill in based on the event type, based on the event number. You can drill into it either one event at a time and build your search. And once you've built a search, you can add it to a stream, you can add it to a dashboard, so that you can save whatever that might be. Give it a message count, give it an alert, whatever you might want, so that you can build out a custom dashboard. Unlike Microsoft, which the dashboard is kind of is set and you can move things around, here in Graylog you have complete flexibility to send whatever amount. The other nice part about Graylog is that you can have Graylog servers in each region or at each location, and then they aggregate up to a single Graylog instance that actually does the log analytic portion of the system. So it allows you to control the distribution of traffic a little bit more. So we've used Graylog on small clients, and we've also used Graylog on Fortune 500 global clients, where they want to keep the logs in region, but be able to run from one dashboard in Azure a search against all Graylog instances, regardless of what country they're in, while maintaining their compliance requirement in each country. So both are solutions that can be set up relatively quickly by ITP. We'll do your assessments for you every year, give you that guidance with great local people, and then we'll provide you really unique custom solutions that are really just coming out to meet your compliance. You just tell us what compliance you want to meet with the size of the number of devices you have inside and outside your network, and we're able to turn around a proposal to you relatively quickly. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Find us via our website, submit our contact form. We'll reach out to you. Check out our blog. We're always posting information about security and other content, as well as we'll post this video in our YouTube channel, and we'll share that out to everybody as well. So if somebody in your organization might be interested in what we can do or what you can do in this space, and you want to share the information, we appreciate you passing it along. So again, ending quickly for everybody today, exactly at 30 minutes, trying to get everybody back to their day. I appreciate everybody taking a little bit of time. Feel free to reach out to us if anything in here is interesting. Again, Microsoft will often provide financial support for Microsoft partners like us to show you, demonstrate, and proof of concept out these solutions for you in your network. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Hope you have a really great day.